Hello, hello. It is the one and only 5D Transformations. And in this video, we're going to talk about the ENTJs and about the compatibility of ENTJs. What are the best types to pair with ENTJs? So let's take a look. So when we talk about the ENTJ, they have extroverted thinking, introverted intuition, extroverted sensing, introverted feeling. So there's a couple different factors that I'm utilizing to compare the types. So let's begin. I'm going to just share them and go through them. The first one is going to be extroversion and introversion. They tend to go well together in terms of that balance. So for ENTJs, the type that I think is the most compatible with them is the ISTP. So what's so beautiful here is, why is that, you would say? Why would I say the ISTP is best? Well, first and foremost, they share the same perception functions right in the middle. I think your second and third function, if you share that with your partner, that's going to be very good, because those second and third functions are, the functions we lean on, they're our most balanced functions. And when someone shares those two functions, there's a lot of familiarity, and that can really trigger a lot of compatibility. So with the ISTP, as you see, the ISTP can help the ENTJ be more present. And then the ENTJ can help the ISTP be more future oriented, focused on making the next best step. So they both push each other in different ways. And there's a lot of growth, but they also understand each other's language. They both share that ability to want to move forward, but they also like to be present and get the most out of the moment. So you're looking at a lot of compatibility there, as well as the fact that they're both extroverted and introverted. That balance is there. And then the third balance that I think is very key is they have a different function as well. And in this case, it's communication. So there's growth. They can learn from one another. And in this case, it's that introverted thinking and extroverted thinking, and that extroverted feeling versus the introverted feeling. So what you'll find is the ENTJ can help the ISTP understand the bigger picture of thinking. Instead of doing everything logically, they can focus on how to be more efficient, how to do things quicker to get to the next level. But then ISTPs can teach ENTJs how to be more focused on making the next best step, how to be more present, and how to be more logical and step by step, instead of just wanting everything now. Like, ENTJs can be very impulsive, very quick to move forward to try to find the most efficient means. And an ISTP is going to be like, nah, we got to take this one step at a time. And there's a lot of growth for ENTJs to see that. ISTPs can have a little bit more patience than ENTJs. So that can be helpful at times. And they're different communication styles. So ENTJs can learn how to communicate a little better. ISTPs have that extroverted feeling. They're a little bit better at, talking to groups of people and getting out of their comfort zone and going with the flow. But at the same time, ENTJs can help ISTPs value that introverted feeling and not sacrifice themselves all the time, and be able to tap into those inner emotions so that they can be softer and more open. So they can help each other out with that also. So that's why I think these two can work really well together. So now I'm going to talk about the second type for the ENTJs. What is the second best type, for the ENTJs according to this video, right? And I would say ISTJs. And why is that? Well, what's unique about ENTJs with ISTJs, right, and you can see here, is that they both have that extroverted thinking, introverted feeling. So they have a very similar communication style. And what ISTJs are going to love, obviously, number one, they have that extroverted, introverted balance working well. But ISTJs can admire how well the ENTJ can use their extroverted thinking, how efficient they can be, how confident they are to communicate that extroverted thinking. And then the ENTJ can admire how the ISTJ has more access to that introverted feeling. So the ISTJ can help the ENTJ be a little softer, be better at dealing with their emotions, being able to communicate those feelings and understanding their feelings. So they can help each other a lot there. But then they also can have a strong attraction element, because they do have a difference. And that boils down to the introverted sensing. They have different perception functions. So while the ENTJ is going to want to move forward, the ISTJ a lot of the time is going to want to move back. And that could be a tug and pull. But because they share these functions here in terms of communication, that can help bridge the gap so that that communication can work well. So I think that those are the factors that make those two work well together. And then if I had to name some other types that can go really well for the ENTJ, I would say number one, the INTJ, mainly because they share all the same functions here, right? But they're a little different. So they still have that extroverted, introverted thing going on, but they have extremely similar communication style. And The same thing can be said for ENTJs, because ENTJs can go really well with ENTJs. But the only issue is with both types, there can be too much of a familiarity there, and it can be a clash a lot of the time because both parties don't want to budge. They're both, are so similar, it can almost become just too familiar. But I think that those types can work very well together also if they come from different backgrounds, different environments, because there's always going to be sociological factors that make everyone very unique, even if you have the same type. Like two ENTJs can be completely different because of so many other elements during the time of them growing up. So that's very key. And then finally, I think ISFPs work well with ENTJs because, as you can see, ISFPs both have that extroverted sensing and introverted intuition, and then ENTJs have that introverted intuition, extroverted sensing. So they got it in the middle, and they both have that extroverted introverted vibe going on too. So they speak a very similar language there, and then they also have the same communication style, but in different orders. So they're very similar. You'll notice the types that I bring up is just where there's familiarity, because I think it's very important to share at least one of the functions, and if you share both, that's great. But I think the magic is made when you share um, two of the either one of the communication functions or one of the perception functions. Then the other two are different because it adds this a little bit more mystery, a little bit more growth and learning about the both parties, and they both can help each other come from the other side to become more dynamic as people. And that's what relationships are about. It's not just about family and kids and stuff. It's really about growth, because relationships play out in all aspects. Friends, it can be lovers, or it could just be co-workers. It can be teammates. And so communication is always going to be needed in all these environments. And this is where you can find the compatibility and really understand which types may be best for you and why. So I hope you got some value from this video. I'll probably do another one in the future for the ENTJs, but for now, make sure to like, subscribe, leave a comment so I can keep dropping this game for you. And I will see you in the next video. Also, make sure to get into the MBTI course. It is officially out. We break down all the types, how to understand the functions, how to understand the types, how they all operate under stress. You get to understand each type's superpower and also their hidden power. So make sure to get that. It's on my Patreon, patreon.com/5D Transformations. The link is in the bio below. And I'll see you in the next video. Peace.